Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parr, Norris and Russell Howard, Hugh Dennis, Milton Jones, and replacing a slightly unwell Frankie Boyle, David Mitchell. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question on the board of 6 categories? Milton, which category would you like?
Let's have politics.
OK, politics it is. Your category is politics. The answer is over $1 million. What is the question?
Is it how many extra minutes Manchester United get to play if they're not winning?
Is it how many people right now at home are going, where's Frankie Boyle? Are they thinking Adrian Charles has finally got him? You might be right.
Is it the number of people who phoned into work on Monday morning saying they couldn't come in because they'd watched Derren Brown on Friday night and they were still stuck to the sofa?
Did you do it? Did you do it?
I did. It was shit.
Is this how many numbers did they count down from in the last OCD moon mission?
Is it when a girl tells you she's had 3 sexual partners, what do you hear in your head?
Is it when my wife and I did our IVF, how many abnormal sperms were found in my first ejaculate?
It's true.
Yeah, we were all there. We went along with support. After this, we're all going to see Frankie as well.
I say my first ejaculate, it wasn't my... You know.
No, obviously it wasn't your first ever ejaculate. Because that would explain why it wasn't working till then.
I was told.
Oh, that! Oh, this! Yeah. Oh, we use this! Oh, we won't need you for a while, Doctor. We'll try with this first and then come back to you.
Is it how many flip-flops can you get in a phone box?
Is it how many times did Mahmoud Ahmadinejad vote in the Iranian election?
OK, I'm going to move to a correct answer.
Is it how many of Jordan's ex-partners have this week sought legal advice?
How much does your house have to be worth for a chance that Lib Dems, if they ever got in, might be able to tax it?
That is close enough, Andy Parsons. The question I was looking for was, on what value of house do the Liberal Democrats want to introduce a new tax? At their conference this week, they proposed a 0.5% annual levy on the most expensive homes in the country. The new tax would be payable on an estimated 250,000 properties. Is this a ludicrous idea, or does it simply not matter because they're not getting in, and frankly, they could say, we'll steal your kids for all the difference it will make to their electorate?
Because it was Vince Cable, basically, that came up with this scheme, and he's come up with lots of ideas, like cutting ID cards and Trident and stuff like that. And you just look at him and you think, Vince, you're a lovely bloke, it's not happening. You know, none of your policies, doesn't matter what you do. It's like my granddad telling me how he's going to seduce the cheerleader from Heroes. It's not happening. I got plans. She's going to need to regenerate. Granddad, it's not going to happen.
The Lib Dem party conference is just the warm-up party conference, so everyone commenting on party conferences can have a bit of a practice on all the Lib Dem conferences. And then by the time it comes to the party conferences of one of the 2 parties that might win the election, we'll be all ready and fighting fit. The only thing you know about a Lib Dem policy is that it definitely won't happen. So, if it sounds ridiculous, good, great, ridiculous thing won't happen. If it sounds brilliant, oh no, brilliant thing won't happen. Because they have a brilliant idea. The Tories, the Labour Party, they can't copy it because they'll look bad. So, you know, the Lib Dems could have the answer to the credit crunch, and it would preclude, their saying it, would preclude the Tories or the Labour Party adopting it as a policy. So anything good the Lib Dems say is unpatriotic.
But it's true, though, like, to be honest, you've got to feel sorry for Nick Clegg, because this is his one chance to speak and everyone's going to listen. Have you ever seen him in Parliament? It's hilarious. They put him on a little naughty step in the corner and he sat there like that. He's like the kid that your mum made you play with. You know?
Well, just go back to the original thing. Just, you know, let's just discard or accept this particular idea in itself. Like, taxing people's houses, taxing rich people's houses. Is it a ludicrous idea, or is it...
It's completely unworkable because people will then reduce the value of their houses. Yep. So it'll be like reverse estate agent and say, oh, no, it looks like a lovely room, but it's a lot smaller than it seems. Our kitchen's rubbish. Our patio, admittedly, that is nice, but there is a body buried under it. In posh areas, they'll get, neighbourhoods will get together and reduce the value of their property by having an adopt a paedophile scheme or something.
Would that be a good thing? To have middle-class people finally talk down, stop whining on about how valuable their houses are. Would that be a great thing to have people say, well, my house is shite? Have Channel 4 run programmes called A Place in the Slum?
It makes sense, because the principle behind house buying shows at the moment...
Yeah, you know, it's a fly just landed
I know,
on my
a fly.
hand.
Do you know what it is? It's Frankie.
Yeah.
Frankie's spirit has come back as a fly.
He's transmogrified.
He has, yeah.
We've been cursed. That's what it is. They've taken Frankie, now the flies are coming. What next, dear viewer? What next?
Make sure, these policies are always going to have problems, though, isn't it?
Oh.
You killed Frankie.
Killed. Frankie is so... Oh, man, you really have flattened him.
And also, there's
Picketed by the Animal Liberation Front now.
We're building ourselves up to
What's
say,
all this
we
week?
killed a fly or a jackal.
I didn't
or
kill the
something.
fly. Suddenly it's a group of us have killed the fly.
Go.
Oh, come on, we were all there.
None of us spoke up to save the fly. Let's face it. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
I
We
didn't
all
believe
just
you were
let
going
it
to go through with the killing.
Yeah, let's move on. In other political news, where is David Cameron struggling for support?
He's struggling up north, Dara.
He is struggling up
Who
north.
would have thought a posh Etonian is not popular in Manchester? What next? The BNP don't like reggae?
He's worried, isn't he? He's very worried he doesn't dare visit because he thinks they might capture him and put him in an enormous wicker Angel of the North.
Apparently, he's not going to get many votes in Scotland, they don't think, although his full name is apparently David William Donald Cameron. Now, that's a tragedy, isn't it? That'd be like getting no votes in Yorkshire when your full name is Percy Fred Flat Cat Whippet Tetley.
He couldn't be... And I'm, as a visitor to your country and all that, the north-south thing's always intriguing to me. He couldn't be more southern, though.
There's a north-south thing in your country.
There's a bit of a window.
It doesn't make the headlines in the same way, though, you're right.
It's never really been a cause of much attention.
No. Everyone's got a massive sense of humour about it.
It was not really a north-south thing because, the north is it's kind of a north, other people in the north thing. It's kind of among themselves.
What were you going to say, Dara?
I was going to say that, Cameron, it intrigues me even though that people have only just noticed this now, that he may have difficulty in the north. Because I'd imagine to northern eyes, Cameron couldn't look more southern if he wore a powdered wig and spoke French at court. He couldn't less likely to appeal to the people of Newcastle or Gateshead or wherever.
Apparently, the rumour is that David Cameron wants to make all towns in Britain triple-barrelled, like Kingston upon Thames, Berwick-on-Tweed. He wants to call it Leeds on Benefit.
At the end of that round, ladies and gentlemen, the points go to David Hewitt-Milton. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features Gordon Brown.
If you'd just like to pop outside for the photographs, Denise. Very much enjoyed our chat. Wondered if you might want to continue it on our own in a little bar, having a quiet drink. So, if you would, that's good. David, what if you can help me out here? I think I'm in with Denise. So if you could do one after the photographs. Andy, I think Denise has got the hots for me, so if you could make yourself scarce, don't want you to cramp my style later. I think I'm in there. Anyway, as you can see, this is the door to number 10. We've got the painters in, so to speak. We put a net up for you there, Andy, just to make you feel at home. You can hit the ball into it if you like. So just smile.
Who is that bloke? I don't recognise him. And why is there a number 10 on the door when my number is number 7? Quick, move across here, because I think the free kick's coming. I don't want any spectators, because I'm going to bloody lamp them.
Anyway, you're looking lovely, Denise. It's a lovely bar I'm taking you to. So, David, if you could just say that Fabio Capello has phoned you. You've got to go immediately for some extra emergency training at Wembley. I think she'll buy into that. She won't find that suspicious. Lovely, Denise. Beautiful. And Andy, I'm sorry about the net joke. I do value you. I love you. You're the only person in Britain who can make me look charismatic. So I'm going to chat up Denise now, boys. So look and learn. So, Denise, what flavour crisps do you like? I'll try anything. Blimey, that's what I was hoping you would say. So, salt and vinegar, cheese and onion. Yeah, packet of nuts. No, maybe too early. Maybe too early for that. Anyway, keep smiling. Well, that's that. That's the photos over. So off we go. Lovely Denise. There's no need for you two to hang around anymore. So off we go. Don't worry, David. I'll tell you what happens later. Come on, Denise. Time is of the essence. Sarah's back at 3 o'clock, so the clock is ticking. You pop into number 10. Get your lady things. Andy and David won't be here when you get out, so. Say goodbye now. That's right. In you go. No, don't go in there, Andy. Don't go. No. David, don't go. Shit!
Well done, Hugh. Now we play a round called President Bagago Haha. This game involves Milton, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is travel. Who wants to come out? Andy Parsons.
Apparently, various airlines now from America have now got air marshals on transatlantic flights. Yeah, to stop somebody getting on a plane with a gun, they're now going to put somebody on a plane with a gun. You also get these machines now at airports which apparently will cling film your entire suitcases for you as a security measure. Now, that doesn't seem to me to be a fantastic way to stop theft, right? Let's face it, when you cling film your sandwiches, you don't then go, oh, my goodness, how am I going to break into them? And I've never heard anybody go, have you locked the front door? And somebody else go, no, but don't worry, I've cling filmed it.
And here's Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is young people. Russell.
Funky young people. You know, it's depressing being hit. I saw this the other day, it nearly killed me. It's a kid who was about 8 years old in a cafe with his mum. He went, here, Mum, doesn't matter how many of these you eat. He was eating a fun-sized Mars bar. Doesn't matter how many of these you eat, it never leads to fun. How depressing is that? It's not a happy meal. Life is suffering, Russell. Life is suffering. It shouldn't be like that when you're 8. When you're 8, you should be excited about the world. Can you remember the first time you saw a rainbow? Can you remember the giddy delirium in your mind? You're like, Dad, there's colours in the sky. I like the sky. I like colours. The two are combined. My mind is literally blown. I need answers, big man. I need answers. Well, that sun is called a rainbow. Oh, my God, it has a name. It has a name. This day can get no better. There's a pot of gold at the end of it. And it's guarded by a tiny leprechaun. Pull over, Dad. Pull over right now. Has anyone ever chased a rainbow? I did. You never forget it. I bet you didn't do this. Me and my little brother took a knife just in case the leprechaun acted up, right?
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with the subject. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is work.
The pollen count. That's a difficult job. Easiest job in the world, of course. Australian psychiatrist.
G'day, g'day. How you doing? No worries. Next.
I lost my job with lastminute.com for being persistently late. I lost my job as a cricket commentator for saying the words, I don't want to bore you with the details. If they make it illegal to wear the veil at work, beekeepers are going to be furious. My wife, it's difficult to say what she does. She sells seashells on the seashore. Some people say the firefighters deserve more money, but apparently a poll was taken and they all fell through a hole in the floor. Sometimes I wonder what my grandfather would think of what I do. He spent his whole life in the kebab business, was buried with all his equipment. He's probably turning in his grave.
Thank you very much, John. Point at the end of that round. Go to Russell and Milton. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the American president hard at work at the White House recently. But what does OCSW stand for?
Is it Obama can't stand Whitey?
Is it Obama challenges Sith warlord?
Obama circumcision safety worries.
Is it a new series? Is it Obama crime scene White House?
Is it from the Republican press, and it's oh crap, Satan's winning?
Is it Obama cast spell Wingardium Leviosa?
Is it another headline from Dyslexic Weekly and in fact is just about cows?
I'm impressed by two things. I'm impressed both by the return of Dyslexic Weekly to our discussion and also by the fact that they wanted to alert the dyslexic population to the presence of cows. Cows, oh my God! Because cows are the natural predator of the dyslexic.
Is it Obama cancels Star Wars?
Yes, it is. Obama cancels Star Wars. Thank you very much, Andy Barton. The answer I was looking for was Obama cancelled Star Wars. This is news that President Barack Obama has decided to scrap the $20 billion Star Wars defence shield, which previous administrations claimed would have protected Europe from Iranian missiles by intercepting them from the air, as opposed to intercepting them when they were rolling about on the ground, presumably.
It'd be great if we actually had Star Wars technology. We wouldn't need missiles. We'd just be able to get Obama to use Jedi mind tricks on Ahmadinejad. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Just, these aren't the defence missiles you're looking for. You will now go non-nuclear.
The idea wasn't it, was that these Poland and Czechoslovakia would be protected from invasion from Russia.
Yes.
And you're thinking, well, you know, there's no way the Russians were going to invade Poland and Czechoslovakia. Poland and Czechoslovakia are in more danger from British stag parties.
I think Europe will be quite safe, because I phoned up the United Nations Rapid Response Force and they said, yes!
You see, the Americans are the Republican Americans are really annoyed that Barack Obama has cancelled Star Wars as though it existed. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And even if the reason they cancelled it is because it simply won't work, because it's run by computers and they'll never work. So, you know, Iran will launch a missile, we'll launch our Star Wars countermeasure. As we press the button, a thing will come up on the screen, little balloon, it says, Microsoft Missile Interceptor Shield has encountered a problem and needs to close. Do you wish to send an error report? Yes, but I haven't got time.
The thing is, though, it wasn't being built, really, to intercept Iranian missiles. It was being built to annoy the Russians. You hope you don't have to use the thing. It's just there to annoy... The Russians were getting really annoyed. You can't have lasers and missiles and things really near our country in countries we used to run. That's insulting to us as Russians. And there's a division in American politics about whether it is good to be as rude as possible to the nutty Russians or bad to be as rude as possible to those maniacs. And I don't know. I mean, there's no doubt that the Russians
Your choice of language alone would seem to place you in one camp rather than the other.
I think, don't get me wrong, I think the Russians are really insane. And annoying, right? Not all of them are insane, but they have an insane political culture. They see that weird, bald, plabby man with his shirt off fishing, and they think, yes, we want to vote for him. Oh, by the way, apparently he tortured people when he was in the KGB. What a guy. I think that's an odd kind of country. But I don't necessarily think the best thing to do with them is to annoy them even more. However, it is the most satisfying thing to do. So it's a question, shall we have a bit of fun? Poke the Russians, poke the Russians. Oh, my God, they're coming.
In other news, what has Justice Secretary Jack Straw been supporting this week?
He's been supporting the idea that heroin addicts should be able to get heroin off the NHS.
Yes.
It's quite an interesting idea, I guess. You know, apparently it will cut crime. But whether, you know, if you're a heroin addict and you go in hospital and get heroin, can you, if you're some sort of other addict, you know, if you're a sex addict, can you go into hospital? All right, nursey, any chance?
That would be great. I don't think there'd be like obese people waddling towards hospital for cake.
Chocolate!
To be honest, though...
No, you're right. It's obviously too late for you. Let's just give you cake and be done with it.
Thinking outside the box, if we gave obese people heroin, that might work. Very seldom see a fat
And we give
smackhead.
junkies cake?
Do you know the ridiculous... I mean, this was based on a survey, isn't it? They've done a trial, and they found... The thing that they've based it on is they found that if you give people heroin on the NHS, they are less likely to buy heroin on the street.
You just get a lot of anger amongst drug dealers, in the same way as, you know, James Murdoch complains about the BBC. You'll get drug dealers saying it's very unfair on us. How are we supposed to make a living if heroin's just being given out free on the stage?
I would love to see them go on Watchdog and complain that. Well, I've been a small. I'm just a family business. My uncle brings it in his rectum, and then we all chop it up at home. And we're being put out of business by the NHS at the moment.
But what happens if you're on heroin, right? You're addicted to heroin. How long do you live? You just have heroin.
You actually, I don't think it's that. If you have, like, good heroin, you know...
You could just have heroin.
You could just have
forever.
heroin.
To be honest,
and live a lovely, long life, not mentioning heroin, on heroin.
Yeah.
Surely the answer... I've got the answer. Surely the answer is...
If you're manufacturing enough heroin, you know, you get cheaper to manufacture it. We all need lots of things all the time, like water and food. Let's just add heroin to that. Get everyone on heroin at an early stage, so then the addiction problem goes away.
I can see a problem with your plan, though, because 95% of the world's heroin comes from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So
Well, it would explain. It would be a good reason for invading the fucking place.
We can't put it on the whole population. You want to kind of get like Pavlov's cat and give Pavlov's cat heroin every day. And if you offer it heroin, see if it comes to have a fix every day.
Don't give it to cats. Don't waste it on cats.
Oh, no, that's quite good fun.
Cats have a pretty sweet existence at the best of times, right? It's all just sofa, we give them food, and then they run off and disappear for 8 hours and do something. And then they come back for more food and sofa. I'm not sharing me heroin with them as well. Right? I'm not having the cat scratching at the door and finding a little vein and looking over here. You know? I'm already sleeping for most of the day. I'd like to do it with a kind of Richter's grin in my face, like I'm in ecstasy all the time. No, get it. And while they're at it, stay out of my coke. All right? I've seen it. I've seen it on your little whiskers, a little bit of white. I've seen it there. You've looked up nervously, fidgeting. Meow, 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 meowing with confidence. Get away from my drug. All right.
So, David, with your plan about everyone gets heroin, would we be able to, you know, shoot up in the pub, or do we have to go and stand outside to do that?
Oh, you can't smoke in a public. You can hardly shoot up. That'd be rude, wouldn't it? The smokers outside looking in while you're going, well, you picked the wrong one there. Sorry about that. I'm fine.
But you'd probably be able to...
Meow!
Yeah,
you want more, do you?
Apparently, farmers are using a lot of heroin, but getting the evidence is like looking for...
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ben and Andy. Now we've come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear at a party conference.
Blackpool's nice, isn't it?
Unlike other party leaders I could mention, I am not a slave to the auto cue. Smile, pause, applause.
Would you please welcome the man who's made the Conservatives an electable force again, Gordon Brown!
I'm going to turn my back for 1 minute, and I want whoever stole David Blunkett's dog to put it back.
The delegates were so impressed by Ming Campbell's speech that they gave him a 10-minute standing cremation.
Kiss the baby. No, I'd better not. It might set my tag off.
Well, I must say, on this issue, I'm with Al-Qaeda.
So, for Scottish independence and cheaper parking, vote S, NCP.
In an attempt to be more like Barack Obama, Gordon Brown has sensationally blacked up.
And I do believe we are the only party who are going to do anything about the amount of unemployed dwarves in this country. In fact, I saw one just outside holding a sign that said, "No job, too small."
We're going to open this BNP conference with a prayer, so if you'd all like to turn towards Mecca.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a history documentary.
Now follows a documentary about the Queen Mother, which contains nudity and strong language from the start.
And it was here, at this exact spot that faced with 30,000 baying Frenchmen, that Henry V shat himself.
On the first day of the Battle of the Somme, over 60,000 documentaries were commissioned.
I was in the parachute regiment. I was dropped over occupied territory. 4,000 feet, 3,000, 2,000. I pulled the cord. My cagoule tightened.
Two world wars and one World Cup. Doodah.
And it was actually here, in this very tower, that the princes were slaughtered. William on Red Bull and vodka and...
1547. Nostradamus predicts the rock group the Kaiser Chiefs. He also predicts a riot.
On one side of battle stood William of Orange. On the other side, Charles of O2 and Richard of Vodafone.
The final outcome of the Second World War has changed the world forever. So, if you don't want to know the result, look away now.
Next, Eva Braun, the inventor of the lady shave.
So it was my job to assassinate Himmler. So I stood behind the tree and waited for his car to come round the corner. Then I leapt out and I said, "Boo!" Sometimes all we had was the element of surprise.
Napoleon was imprisoned in St Helena, which was extremely uncomfortable for her. Her head was pointed, and he never took his boots off.
The Loch Ness Monster. Fact or fiction? Fiction. Good night.
Of course, during the war, I was brought up in Dorset. None of us expected the surprise Japanese attack on Poole Harbour.
At the end of that round, the points go to David, Hugh and Milton. That's the end of the show and the end of the series. This week's winners are Hugh Dennis, Milton Jones and David Mitchell. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Ben Norris and Russell Howard. We'll see you again soon, but thanks for watching. I'm Dara Green. Good night.
And Russell Howard's got a brand new show. Watch out for good news coming soon to BBC Three. And if you turn over now, Ice Pop selling for Asif in Lunch Monkeys. Here on BBC Two, stay with us for Newsnight next.